So today we're doing something a little different. Before everyone gets pissed off, cancels me, throws tomatoes, I want everyone to take a deep breath and give this a chance.
It's behavior, bitches.
Hey guys, it's Liat
and Talia,
and we're here for today's episode of Behavior Bitches Podcast. As you guys know, I'm into behavior and she's a bitch, so it works out well. Usually I'm the behavior bitch, but when she's here, she just leans into character.
Yes.
Exactly. Today is a hot topic. I know in the field, the word private equity seems to be a bad word and a place that people do not want to go work for or work alongside. So I know I posted recently about Snabba being sold and moving to private equity, and also the exciting part that we're going to be opening clinics all over. And so I have someone here today to talk about this exciting venture we're taking, as well as why this is actually a positive move for the company. So I just want to welcome private equity guy.
Right. Well, thank you for having me. We're different. We should caveat it with that. With autism on the rise, these kiddos, they need services. And, the spectrum is so vast that there's just every kiddo could use some services. And it's so easy to provide services, really. And, all I need is a box of Legos, an office, and then we'll pay the BCBAs a livable wage. I mean, it'll be doable. We just want to have every kiddo in there as many hours in the clinic as possible. We're going to open up all over. So
yeah, so we're super excited. I mean, we're also obviously, guys, going to make sure that we have great reinforcers and other toys other than Legos, but we're very excited. Okay, guys, I'm just fucking with you. I know that is literally a way to get I mean, hopefully everyone watches the episode now after using that antecedent intervention, as we'd call it in behavior, to get you watching. I had to have
I love it.
Johnny, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
For those of you guys who
I had no idea that this is actually happening in the world, so I'm learning.
Oh, this is going to give you a whole other realm of content. This is a very hot market happening, so I'm happy to
oh my gosh,
to
excellent.
let you know all about it. Yeah, this is definitely going to increase your Cameo reach.
Perfect. I love it.
So can you tell everyone about you? Who are you?
Oh, that is such a complicated question. To strangers on the internet, I am a financial satire character who started a year ago as the guy you get stuck talking to at a wedding, who just doesn't have self-awareness, socially, just wants to tell you about how rich he is and how great his job is and things. And then as I developed the character, I just was like, all right, I got to give him a high paying job. So I'm going to make him in private equity. And then it kind of opened this whole can of worms about, we can go deep into the private equity content, which is funny, like what we just did. And there's been so many different conversations I've had with people. So it's this funny thing, but it's gotten a little bit deeper over the year. So that's who I am to the internet. And then just me in general, I'm a kid from the Midwest. I'm an adult now, from Chicago, live in Boston, been here 10 years, and I've always loved comedy and creating things. And I've never had a large audience until last year and now. So that's it. Yeah.
So what was your background in?
What did you study in school? Did you study finance that you know this language so well? You know the lingo.
Barely.
Okay.
I went to the University of Denver and I studied my major was general business. So I like a little bit of everything. And then I moved to LA. I worked in TV for 2 years. And then I was a SoulCycle instructor for a while, for full time for many years.
Oh, so you met a lot of private equity guys coming in.
Totally. Private equity guys and gals. And then I just think my circle of people, I'm around people that have finance. I mean, I'm usually the odd man out at parties, weddings, and things like that, because usually most people are in finance or doctors or lawyers, and then there's me, and I'm a spin instructor, and so that kind of that's always lended itself to there's always some content there, because people are like, wait, how do you pay your bills? What are your career aspirations? And it doesn't translate for them. So the content has been rich for my whole adult life, because I've always been kind of the odd man out, and I've always observed people's behaviors, whether it was right out of college when people had good jobs, and then they they bought a car and they were the first of our friends to do that. I've always kind of clocked that behavior, and it's just gotten, more and more intense the older we get.
And you're so observant. That's what I find so fascinating. I'm a marketer, so I also say my job is applied anthropology. I wanted to be cool all my life in high school, and I've studied what makes people cool. I'm not necessarily cool myself, but I can manufacture it for brands. And similarly, you've studied what some of these odd behaviors that you've been able to like replicate and then make into really, really compelling content.
Our kiddos were born at Greenwich Hospital. Yeah, tub births, but yeah, it's gorgeous there. Yeah, it's basically 4 seasons, and they gave wifey steak and lobster, so. Is it your first time at the Derby, pal? Oh yeah, well, we're here every year. Yeah, it's tradition. So last year, wifey had 11 mint juleps and fell asleep on the track, so she's been banned for a full calendar year, unfortunately. But this year, my PE private equity firm owns a horse, so yeah, it's absolutely slated to win. So some serious upside there. You already had someone approach us about the post-race monetization of the genetic platform. So
Claude's jet set Pilates. Oh, she goes all the time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, yours too? Oh, very cool. Small world. I wonder if they know each other. Awesome. Oh, you're in crypto. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I'm in PE, private equity. Yeah, it's awesome, man. Very cool. So you guys, do you belong to? Oh, you belong to Fisher Island Club.
What do we think? Kind of, when we think about, because this is behavior bitches, and it's all about like the functions of behavior and what drives behavior. What do you think drives the behavior of this persona that you portray? Is it status? Is it appearing to have a bigger dick than the person next to them? Is it like, what do you think it is?
I think it goes really, really deep down to like, just, this is someone who's trying to be accepted and trying to connect with people. And that's the sad reality of it, because he thinks that if he, and I didn't make this up. Like Brene Brown said this. Like, I think it was just like, perfection is the something to vulnerability. Like, if you present as everything perfect in your life, then you don't have to be vulnerable. Like, you don't have to go like, oh, I couldn't, like all of these people in this group moved to houses in the suburbs. Like, you never want to be the person who's like, I can't afford to do that. Or you never want to be the person who is in the circle of people that are all talking about their bonuses, and you're like, I don't have a bonus. Like, so I think that's kind of that's how you get to that point. It's like, people are like, I will just shove this down everyone's throat, and then no one will know any of my vulnerabilities. Like, I will just appear as this like untouchable person because I showed up in this car. They know that I just bought this house. They know my job is like, and then there's no need to actually be vulnerable, which is how you would really actually connect with somebody. So, and it's just reinforced by the person next to you doing it, and then the person across from you doing it. And then everybody's just like doing this thing where it's like, you're all trying to, at the core, you're trying to connect, but you're doing it the wrong way. You're putting all this energy into this thing. It's like, it's so superficial, but you think it's how you'll connect. I mean, I think like social media is a big example of that too. It's like, people see this like ritzy thing, or you can put this big like ritzy exciting thing out there, and the conversations that are being had. Did you see that they were like at that hotel? Like, that hotel's like $2,000 a night. Like, people want to create this narrative about themselves to people, so they'll do anything to do that. And I think that it's like, it's sad to take a thing that's funny on its face and actually get to the core of like why I think it's impactful for people, because it's like, wow, look at where we are as a society. Like, this character especially, like, he just wants to fit in, but he's doing it the wrong way.
It's interesting what you said about like, reinforcement is like number one term we always talk about, which I see it play in a few things here, but it's like so conditioned in these environments that it's so normalized that like you have to be one-upping each other, and like what I'm seeing, I know even last weekend you were saying like you kind of dabble in that world. I mean, my brother-in-law, her husband is literally like, looks like the perfect private equity guy. Oh, look who it is. Look how he shows up here. He wanted to see you because he like literally.
Perfect. To bring him in. Bring him in.
Put the private equity guy face on here. Come, Jethro.
Where's the camera?
Down.
What's up?
Does he look the
How are
part?
ya?
He's wearing his Roan hat. I said, tell me to wear my Roan hat.
I love it.
What's that?
Roan.
Oh, Roan,
wow,
you're
amazing.
Roan.
Let's go.
I love it. No, it's and that's the other thing. Like, I feel like I run into this with people. Like, it's like, does he actually work in private equity?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Okay, so like, I think that people,
not ABA. Everyone, I think I'll be
think,
canceled if they think my brother-in-law does ABA, not ABA.
Different healthcare.
right, yeah,
Different healthcare.
I think that people think like, people will be like, oh, like, I'm in private equity, they're like nervous to tell me that, or they're nervous to tell me that they like did something cool. Or I'm like, that's not the thing. Like, it's not the having the job, it's not the having the Range Rover. It's just how you are presenting it. Like, and
100%.
anybody can do it. Like, I've met influencers that are like PE guy, but they're the influencer version of it. And I'm just like, that's great. You make all this money, like have these things, but like the way you're presenting them to people that you just met or to like your friend group, you're part of the problem because you're doing this thing and you're making the person next to you insecure. And the next time they see you, they're going to go, I now have to be defensive and I now have to come at this person the way they came at me last time I saw them. It's like a fascinating behavioral study,
Yeah,
honestly, for me.
yeah, I agree. And I think also it's like there is something like people, they say like true wealth is quiet, and
Yeah,
like people that actually have the money are not like PE guy. You know what I mean? Like they don't need to
right.
be like, "Oh, $2,000 a night. I'm at the Lamborghini, dealership for the 10th time." Like
Exactly.
and so it is just like I think also that is it is they say like true wealth is quiet, and I think it is when people are trying to fill a void that they have to like overcompensate.
Yeah.
Like PE guy is so overcompensating. And do you think he overcompensates because of his cleft lip? Because he thinks that he's
Yeah, yeah,
unattractive?
yeah. It's the face. It's the face. You know what's funny about him is that I think he thinks he's good looking.
Yeah, that's fair. I think so too. But like,
Wait, I need to know, who were your like comedy influences?
Oh my gosh. I would say specifically, I can't say that there's not like a huge Jiminy Glick influence with PE guy. That's like Martin Short's character, Jiminy Glick.
This is so exciting for me to be talking to you because usually I talk to celebrities. So this is a nice change of pace. It really is.
I think like any physical like Mad TV. Do you remember Mad TV with like back in the day it was like JV version of SNL. Like there was this woman named like Lorraine on there. Like any crazy characters on I'm just trying to think of like other
Do you
examples
watch
of
like
like
Chris Lilly?
yes,
Like
yes. So like
I am
example,
literally
a great
obsessed, like
example.
so obsessed with him and every character. Like I see life in bits all the time. Like I'm consistently doing them by
Yeah.
myself.
Like amazing. Yeah, like I just like anything like that growing up. I don't know why I'm like drawing a blank besides like the Mad TV people, like any physical like Jim Carrey, Dumb and Dumber, like any really like I was like this is like and I wasn't a kid being like this is genius, but now I'm like this is genius and people are like that's just dumb like slapstick and I'm like to dismiss that stuff as like slapstick is like there's something here like there was something there like just Jim Carrey and Liar Liar, just like Will Ferrell on SNL, like Molly Shannon,
uh-huh.
all of the Scary Movie, like any kind of parody thing I've always loved, like just like ridiculous things like that because I think they're smarter than people give them credit for.
It's behavior bitches.
Hey guys, it's your favorite bitch, Liat here. Are you stressing about taking the BCBA or BCABA exam? Feeling like you don't know where to start? You got into this field, you're worried, your program didn't prepare you so much, you're wondering how you're gonna get through grad school, then let alone take this test? Well, let me take that stress on for you. Over here at Study Notes ABA, this is what we do. We eat, breathe, sleep, thinking about the BCBA exam. I've been carrying around my Cooper book for the last 8 years so that you can chill. If you're getting ready to study and wondering what you could be doing, sign up for our live collective. It's 12 weeks, which is done over 24 classes. We meet twice a week. It's taught from actual BCBAs who have been there in your shoes studying for the exam. We make everything relatable, funny. You are actually going to enjoy the study process. And hold me to that. If you're not enjoying it, let me know. I'll be shocked. You get a study group, people who are studying the exact same thing, shared adversity. We could ask all your questions and we take all the notes with you. You are going to have the most beautiful doodles by the end, and your Cooper book will seem way less scary. Are you worried about payment plans? We've got that too. We get what it's like being an RBT in the field. So stop stressing, start getting ready to pass the test, and go to studynotesaba.com/collectives, and we have it all there laid out beautifully for you. I think the thing is, it really takes someone really intelligent. That's why I always think like Chris Lilly is so intelligent to be able to like, he's
Totally.
making such good calls, and that's exactly what you're doing, and you're calling them out. So like, whether you are the person in private equity or you're the one who loves to hate private equity, you're like, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think comedy, like, it does take somebody with an emotional intelligence, a higher emotional intelligence to understand like what's like that there's something bigger than just like I think I've met some people that are like, oh, you make fun of rich people. And I'm like, oh, you're so like you are like one dimensional. Like I'm like, oh, you can't see it. And I get like people's brains work differently. Like, but like I'm like, whoa, like this person is not trying to be offensive. Like they don't they don't see it the way that you see it. They see it as like you're just making fun of people who have money. And I'm like, that would be crazy. If that's what I set out to do, that would be nuts. Like I'm making fun of a behavior that has nothing to do with people's money or not money, really, at the end of the day. And that's why it's so widely like people be like, you have to do like lawyer, you have to do like big law, you have to do like VC guy. Cause I'm like, he's everywhere. He's not just PE guy.
Exactly. It's the persona. It's the persona of this like high ego, think that they're the center of the world and that they know everything.
Tina Fey always said you could tell how smart someone is by what they laugh at. So like, I also saw that you were getting some pushback. Anytime you put yourself out there for anything, anyone, I could tell you, myself included, people are going to be like, there's trolls. More recently, I saw someone saying like, you're just jealous. What was it? You're just jealous because like, it was something along those lines of some guy being like, because you'll never make money like me.
Yeah, it was like you're making fun of people who make 5 times as much money as you will in the next 5 years in a month or something. And I was just like, that's an example. Like this person saw one thing about me, maybe a headline, and they were like, you're making fun of people who make money. And I'm like, that is so like false. Like that is not at all, like, or I have been at weddings where people are like, oh, I've seen your stuff. Like you just like make fun of private equity, right? And I'm like, that's like, you're missing it.
They're not smart enough. They don't get it like us. They don't get it.
I do think, like, what to your point, like, there's first and second level thinking, and first level thinking is, oh, this guy makes fun of rich people. But I think what it really does is it hyperbolizes this absurd behavior, and then it's supposed to be almost introspective to be like, oh,
wait, is that me?
Is that me? Like, do I even in the most on a lesser level? We all do kind of peacock in a way, right? And you're essentially like the master peacock, and I think it makes us realize just like to put our feathers down for a beat and like just like be real.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and I think that's why it also works, because people will be like, oh, like even I am like, oh, that kind of sounded like PE guy, and it's just like it's like a little check with yourself.
100%.
Which is funny. This guy said like, I'm like, you're never gonna make money in 6 years, whatever it is. You are making money, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
I don't want to. I mean, I could say it because I mean, I'm smaller than the New York Times that just posted about you, which, by the way, congrats. That's incredible.
Thank you.
Like, you're obviously doing something that's touching.
That is resonating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In there, you said that you made a substantial amount of money over the last year doing, what is it, cameos? And can you tell us about this?
Like brand deals, like in-person corporate events, and then cameos and merch, and then just TikTok in general, paying. Yeah,
I love it.
I mean,
so there's a Business Insider article, and that was kind of like.
Wait, was it not New York Times? Did any fix that? Is that where?
There were both.
I was like, because I could have sworn
they both dropped this weekend.
Oh,
talk about the timing for this podcast. We've got like, I mean,
so we need to make it come out. We need to push this one ahead.
Your star has risen.
I know he maybe wouldn't have said yes to us if it had dropped before we asked him. So like, thank God.
Oh my gosh, no. I like to keep it real and just like remember what we're doing here, Johnny. We don't want to get a big head. The money's great, but I'm like, who knows? Maybe the money goes away. The one thing I know is that no one can take away my ability to make funny stuff. So I'm like, that's a powerful feeling.
I love that. And honestly, if you invest the money into potentially opening some kind of PE company, you could, what's the word you'd use?
10x.
You could 10x.
Yes, exactly. We could totally do that.
Okay, so we've got to all invest in something together.
No, but can you, maybe between you or, like, I mean, I do just want to, because people, like, I'm just going to read you something. I posted earlier asking people in the field, like, when you hear the word private equity, what is your knee jerk? I mean, you have to realize these are also clinicians working with kids with autism. You probably got involved because you have a sibling, like myself. I mean, not me. I have a sibling with autism. You got into it. So, like, this is just, like, the most, like, people get really pissed off. So here, before you actually explain what can you operationally define what private equity actually is for those listening? No, or should we get Jethro to do that?
No, I totally actually can't. I admittedly know probably 5% about private equity than there is to know.
Amazing.
I truly don't really, and I would butcher it. I would give a very one-dimensional way of it. I
Perfect.
wouldn't do it justice.
Jethro, so maybe if you could think on that. But in the interim, I'm going to tell you what some of our BCBAs, I asked, hey, what is your thought when you hear private equity? This is what one person wrote back. I'd be curious to know if enough is ever enough. PE makes so much money, yet going into one of their centers where toys are broken, no play space, they're typically built in office complexes with no outdoor play space. I've worked for a PE-backed company who made a ridiculous amount of money in profit, yet the clinic I was at couldn't get the backs of our toilets replaced because it cost too much. Seems like these companies want to push out centers so fast and then forget about them the minute the next one opens. So this is I think a lot of people in the field could resonate and agree with this. So Jethro, can you tell us, as a private equity guy, what is private equity?
And in its best form, what did I?
Yeah, what is the idea of it? Because I do.
Yeah.
Also, and
High level.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, and maybe I'll start as the CFO of a private equity backed company. Say we do pay for our people's toilets.
Oh, that's good. So people could dump on premises.
The good ones too.
People could dump on using
only
Kohler.
Only the good providers.
Toto.
Yeah, so private equity is essentially traditionally buying businesses using a combination of private capital and bank loans to acquire business and then make a lot more money by operational improvements or, just taking an old school business and kind of bringing it to the modern age. But it's taking other people's money and making a lot more of it, typically buying businesses.
So why do you think it gets a bad rap?
Yeah.
I mean, it's capitalist first, I guess, right? So traditionally, it's the objective is make money, right? You have investors and you got banks, so those are your fiduciaries. So that's typically the target. But there are plenty of private equity firms that do good by their people, by their clients, by their vendors. It has a bad label because it's capitalist, right? I would say.
Right.
Yeah. When I also should say, because I have some followers who will be they'll get mad at me when I do something that's that's not what they think, and they're very anti-capitalist, and they're like, oh, it looks like you're aligning with a PE company, because I'll wear a PE company, they'll send me a vest or something, and I'm like, oh, I'm not anti-capitalist, I'm not at all that. I think that, like you said, the good ones are in good standing with their vendors and their portfolio companies and whatever. But I think it sounds like to me, as somebody on the outside who just hears this anecdotally from people, that there are some bad actors in the space, and it's an unregulated way of doing business, and a lot of and there's a lot of spaces that it's in right now, like housing and healthcare, that the people that it's affects their day-to-day lives, those people are getting louder and louder and about it. And there have been some, I think that it's been around long enough and it's gone on for long enough that people have had these negative experiences with it, and they're starting to turn against it in some instances. So and I always say that too. My brother-in-law is in private equity also, and when I first started this, my sister was like, "Is this Mike?" And I was like, "No, it's not Mike. It's not about him." But
Mike's coworkers.
he and I have had some good conversations about it, and I've been like, so what is the difference between your company? How do you ensure it when you go and buy one of his companies? They were a vet company, and I was like, how do you ensure that when you go and you buy these vet companies, that all of the people working there don't just leave because they know the writing's on the wall, and he was able to explain that to me, and he's like, totally, there are some bad actors in this space that are and I think obviously it is a short term for a lot of these companies, but some of them want to hold them for a longer period. I might be speaking out of turn. I think some of them want to hold them for a longer period of time and actually turn them around and go hey, this is pretty inefficient the way you're doing this. Let's come in and we'll optimize it. And it's a good thing in a lot of ways. But I just think it's the bad actors that give everyone else a bad rep.
Yeah, and I think one other thing that people lose sight of, you always kind of gravitate towards the negative of private equity, right? Capitalists make a lot of money, a lot of rich people, that type of thing. But they pour a lot of money into these BCBA clinics, right? Somebody I know that had a large BCBA clinic, they were on the verge of going bankrupt. and the private equity partner came in and said, like, you're screwing everything up. You have good clinical practices, but you don't know how to run a business. We're going to provide you the financial capital, the operational know-how, right? And then they ended up
Totally.
turning it around. They grew it a lot, provided a lot of access to, autism therapy. And yeah, they sold it for a lot of value creation. They sold it for a shit ton of money, right? So everybody won,
Yeah.
right? But those providers and those patients would have been out of jobs and out of services,
Right.
potentially without the private equity support.
So since I've
Right.
been doing peer ABA and matching VCBAs with clinics, what I've noticed along the way, I mean, is a lot of people be like, but is it private equity? And I think it's really looking at an individual company, first of all, because, I met someone at Starbucks yesterday who, I mean, we planned to meet. She was a VCBA here in Dallas and she's worked at multiple companies. And she was telling me she's like, I actually could see the benefits of why private equity can be beneficial. Like, for example, I'm working at a company now. They're basically paying me to run the entire place. It's not private equity. And like, we often don't have money, like, because like insurance, let's say, is so behind that we're like 6 months behind in paying, and like our staff aren't getting paid. So like people have bills to pay. It's affecting, so I do think we have to look at companies, by the way, anyone just like who is, whether you love them or hate them, I think you do have to look at companies individually. And I'll tell you, that's what I also have seen is when you are scaling anything, there's going to be good locations and bad locations, as much as like it's tried to be.
It's leadership, right?
Right.
Like they're going to partner with good
Yeah.
private equity firms, right?
It's behavior bitches.
Are you a BCBA now and you are sad because you hate your job? Are you thinking, I worked so effing hard and here I am, dreading Monday? Well, you're not the only one. We get that message all the time and we decided to do something about it. Welcome our newest baby, Pair ABA by Study Notes ABA. What is this? Well, we pair you with jobs that you actually don't hate. Imagine that. Imagine going to work on Monday and being excited about it. Imagine working somewhere where you're appreciated, you're paid well, they're doing ethical practice, and you love what you do. Well, that's not impossible because we have formed Pair ABA, where we talk to clinics that we would actually want to work at. We're not going to send you anywhere. We are assessing these clinics to see, are they doing the good work? Are they not telling you one thing and then having you do another thing once you sign on? If you're concerned that you're not happy or you're feeling unsettled where you are, don't settle. Don't settle in relationships. Don't settle in work. Realize your value. Let us help you find a job where you are happy. All you need to do is head on over to pairaba.com. The response effort is low. Fill out the form so we can help you find job options near you. If you're a clinic and you think you're good enough for us to place at, also head over to pairaba.com. And we will see, are you good enough for our badass BCBAs who we protect? Go check it out, pairaba.com. Love you, mean it. So I want to know, like, when you're creating content and you're, I'll tell you, I mean, I started, which I could say after, like, my test prep company by creating funny content that was, like, inappropriate to remember test concepts and, like, things that people liked more or reinforced. I was like, oh, I'll make more videos like this, or, and things that like didn't really get any attention, I would do less of. How have you shaped your character through reactions by the audience?
I would say it's like pretty wide. It's pretty well received, like no matter what I do. But there are some things where I'll like take note. Like I can't do too many real estate videos at once. Like I can do like one a month. I can't do. I think I need to like always come back to like at least once a week, like a city or something, like a specific. So I know that because then I always try different things. Like I went and I did a video with a horse yesterday, and that like did okay. Like it, but it did. It's fine. It's I don't know what it's at, like 100,000 views or something. I posted this morning, and then like Sunday I did a video on a private plane that did really well. Like there's not usually a rhyme or reason to like why something does better than like it doesn't make sense to me. I will say I haven't tried anything other than PE guy, but I mean I've done some like me just answering questions like in my regular face, and those do like okay, but I'm like terrified to veer away from this thing because it's still working. Like every time I do something,
you
it's
go
just
where the
like,
reinforcement is. Like Keep
Yeah,
behavior goes where reinforcement flows. We call that matching law. Like where the
I love
reinforcement is
that.
allocated is where you'll allocate your time.
Yeah,
No, but I
totally.
really do think actually if you create some ABA characters, I will share them and I think they will hit. Like people are
Perfect.
passionate about it. It's
Yeah.
Different filter.
No,
no, stay the asshole filter, you know?
Yeah.
Like no matter what, he's a
yeah,
douchebag. That he has to do that.
yeah, totally. No, it's hard to say. Like, there's not really one thing that I'm like, oh, don't do that again. I obviously when I post an ad, they're like,
Not
people
as
are like,
excited.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But any new thing, like the first time I did a real estate video, people were like, oh, this is great. And like, so that's why I'm always trying to do new things and just like, but I feel like I'm in a lucky position right now where everything does pretty well. And I'm like, okay, like, and the comments are pretty good. And I'm like, and when there's a bad one, I just parody that person in a different filter. And so, like,
And the wifey thing, the wifey and the tennis instructor, that's like the gift that keeps on giving.
that's my favorite thing of
I
all.
know. I
I'm
feel
like,
like it's your
I'm posting
favorite.
on LinkedIn too. I feel like
That's where
so
I
when
follow more wifey stuff on LinkedIn.
yeah. Well, that's like the thing about LinkedIn is like at first I was like, oh, I better be careful. And like a couple people were like, keep this off LinkedIn. And I was like, says who? Like I was like literally who are you the rule person about LinkedIn? Like LinkedIn, there's no so like and I think I should also say any time that I post on LinkedIn, my post is inspired by a real post. So like there's like all these longevity like I wake up at 4 a.m. and I don't touch my phone and I sit in my sauna for 4 hours. Like that's how I start my day. Like those things are from real things. Like so I take those
It's
real
so
things
good.
and I
Oh my gosh.
so that's a fun place for me to like play around with a lot. And the wifey thing there really hits because there's just something about that where he's just like she's so happy, like her
Yeah.
backswing's never been better. Like
Yeah.
it's just perfect.
Just so like, yeah, over his head. And then
But I think people actually appreciate, like, I'll tell you this, like, what I find on LinkedIn, even when we were doing Behavior Bitches podcast, like, all the other businesses that we're running, we have pages on LinkedIn for. But it was like, Behavior Bitches, like, aren't you trying to keep this professional? Like, do you want to have that as your, and it was like, yeah, like, people like it,
it
all
breaks the feed.
the
I mean,
same
it's
way that
different than
someone
just-
likes
Yeah.
to see, like, wow, this person wrote a post that's not AI. This person made something
Yeah.
that's like Behavior Bitches on LinkedIn. Like, there's real people under everyone. So it's like,
Yeah.
I think all the more so, it's like it gets highlighted even more there because everyone else is posting the exact same shit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like this is like a cesspool of like pretty much mediocrity. Like even if you're,
Exactly.
and so it's like just throw something in there. And I really did have to like juggle with like, well, what happens if like you try to like I had some friends being like, well, what if like, you try to like be a professional again? I'm like, that ship has sailed. Like I
Yeah.
am a professional and this is my life. So like fuck off. I was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is what I do and I belong here just as much as you with your stupid AI generated post about your
Yes.
B2B sales tactics belong. So,
I love it.
you know,
The one where you said that you were holding in, what was your like you're holding in all your liquids for the day and you had
oh
this
yeah,
like
I
cross-eyed
don't go to the
pose.
bathroom. I don't go to the bathroom on Mondays. Yeah. My ChatGPT prompts are amazing. Like it's just like I'm like make a picture of my character like clearly holding a pee in his office and like it's just like here. Like it's
So good.
it's amazing.
So good.
It's ChatGPT. I mean, I could talk about AIs like and like these things forever because, I mean, it just takes content even further.
Oh yeah.
Does he help you make
Does he? Are you?
mine is gendered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I will say I make cameos for people a lot, and a lot of times people will send me a script that they've made ChatGPT make, and I'm like, this is horrible because it's so like I tried that in the beginning, like to like make a script for a city or whatever, and it's like like it's horrible. So it doesn't help me very much unless I'm trying to like really like dig into something or I'm having a hard time with a sentence. Like I don't use it to generate scripts. Like I don't use that as my like writer. So at first I was like, oh, this will be helpful. I'll use ChatGPT. And I remember just being like, this is like so like robotic and not right. So I have to like, the other thing is about these scripts that I write, I have to be inspired about them. So sometimes they come off of like one idea, like it'll be like, oh, I'm gonna say something crazy about like the kids, and like Tarantino's on a peptide regimen, like, and then I build out a whole script on that. Like, and then like the most absurd thing in the world, that your 4-year-old's on a peptide
And how you always say
regimen.
he's like how he's what is he academically elite or what do you always put in parentheses?
He's gifted, gifted,
Yeah,
for
gifted. Yeah, for comma
yeah.
gifted, as if like that Chiron
Yeah.
needs to follow his name everywhere it's supposed to. I love
Yes,
it.
yes, yeah. Just so you remember.
It's so
It's
fucking
amazing.
good. I literally, I don't know if you see, I literally think I comment on every LinkedIn thing. I can't help myself. I'm just like, it gets
I love it.
better.
It's so
Please
good.
keep doing it. It's
I
my
will,
favorite
I
place.
will.
Like, because I just imagine people being like coming across it and being like, "What is this?" Like, and or being like, "This is unprofessional." Just like it makes me happy.
Or the second degree connections, like someone seeing me post and they don't know that you're a parody. And it's just like, why is Talia like
Yeah.
celebrating this guy who's like essentially showboating his 4-year-old? Like, so
Exactly.
it's like, sorry, you're going to say
Exactly.
Now I was gonna ask how often people mistake your parody for your like real life, right? Especially on LinkedIn, which is like a professional platform.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Like people, like especially like this is quite tone deaf, and I'm like, the fact that you think this is real says something about where we all are as a
Joke's
whole
on you,
collective.
bitch.
The fact that you think that this is something that's plausible and like real is like that's concerning.
something.
But here we are.
That's funny.
No, this one is translate this. I hope he knows enough about PE to. What is it?
I actually truly don't know like anything about the terms that you hear me use. Which I
So
think
you
is
don't know what means, like you wouldn't understand the translation of we're focused on creating shareholder value through operational excellence.
yeah. I mean, like
We're trying to make money.
like making the
Like-
business make like operational excellence. Just like it would probably actually mean like slashing headcount in half is what that would probably mean.
Or here,
Yeah.
this one.
It's
We're
operationally
right
excellent.
sizing the organization.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
headcount, right?
yeah,
Something to do
yeah,
with headcount.
always bloodbath.
Right sizing.
Yeah, right sizing.
Yeah.
Not a good thing
Yeah,
here.
replacing all the assistants with AI. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, well that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me.
I couldn't think of something better just because of the entire pulse of our field, and I hope that you start making content for the ADA
I will. You
industry,
just
the
send me-
autism industry.
We'll send you some
Send me
inspo.
stuff to, yeah. And I think, I just didn't know that this existed. So I'm fascinated to learn more about it. I've heard a little like rumblings here and there about how there's a lot of these things coming out and people's kids are getting tested and they're all like on the spectrum. And so they all go to these places and they have to pay whatever to go there. So I'm going to do a deep dive.
I'll send you information. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll send it over. But thank you for coming on. It's so nice, and I love that you're doing this. I think the world needs people like just like laughing a little more at the bullshit around us.
Calling
Totally.
shit out. We were supposed to ask you what dry powder is. Apparently, it's money.
No,
set
we're not
aside
doing
for
that.
Oh, I
future
know what that
investments.
is.
You do? What is it?
That's like cash, like available to you but not committed to you or something. Like
Is that right?
it's like
That-
it's there
set
in
aside.
case you need
yeah,
it.
Yeah, cash, dry powder, like Coke
Yeah.
powder. Is that what it's supposed to be? I don't know.
Yeah.
Cash,
Basically.
cash available to deploy.
Cash
Cash
available.
available.
Yeah.
deploy.
See, someone told me that at Harvard when I was there for the head of the Charles.
Oh my
Regatta.
God! Look at you. You're gonna get like a.
Wait, are you actually getting to go on like planes and stuff because of it?
Yes, but not they don't move anywhere. The planes don't move.
They're
I go on to
props.
film content on the planes.
Wah,
Like
wah.
the companies I've worked with are like, yeah, do you we could, instead of paying you, we could do like you could have like a trip on the plane, and I'm like, no,
That
I'll
doesn't
take
pay
American
my
Airlines.
bills. I'll like, I
Yeah.
will get paid.
And I'll take American Airlines just because I'm like afraid of flying and I don't need like to be like a headline. So thank you anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, let's leave it to the airlines.
Before we let you go, we want to bring back PE guy and just ask you a bit of a rapid fire. So we'll start off with: are you a circle back guy or a stick a pin in it guy?
We always circle back. Yeah, I find that sticking a pin in it just doesn't work. Yeah, we always circle back by EOD usually.
Okay, perfect. Great.
Mm-hmm.
How do you sign off on your emails to make sure your conversion metrics and scalable solutions are triggering client engagement?
Oh, I don't sign off on my emails. They're sent by one of my assistants. I don't sign them. So
Oh, okay.
that's easy answer there.
Oh, okay.
Next.
Matcha or kombucha?
Oh, well, I'd have to ask my longevity coach.
Okay, whatever they serve you. All right, fuck, marry,
Yeah.
kill. Viore, Lululemon, and Aloe.
Oh boy, that's tough. Well, I know the founders of all of them, so this is going to be tough. I'd say we kill Lululemon because he's old.
It's
He's the
kind of dead,
oldest, I
yeah.
think. Yeah, yeah. And then we fuck Aloe and marry Viore.
I agree. Like, you can be comfortable for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Totally, totally, exactly.
You want to go on a golfing trip with the boys. What excuse are you making up to wifey?
Oh, well, usually she's the one making an excuse to me about taking a personal trip with the tennis pro. But the excuse I would use is that if I go on this trip, that she can take a trip with the tennis pro. So it's tit for tat, kind of. Yeah.
Love that.
I love that you definitely keep measuring your marriage too.
I am definitely we have a scorecard, but it's about who wakes up early with the kids.
Oh, that's smart. I don't wake up with the kids.
Oh
'cause we
yeah,
have
you
so
don't.
much help, but
What do your staff ratios look like? Speaking of waking up with the kids,
we do 2 to 1, two to 1, two people for each child, and they're all different kinds of specialists. So it's very night nurse, au pair, and they have to be fluent in multiple languages for all the kiddos. So
Okay, love it. Great. Well, thank you. That's all we have for you today.
well, perfect. That's good because I have to get back to business because I'm in PE.
And where can everyone find you?
At Johnny Hilbrant on TikTok and Instagram.
Okay, we'll definitely put it in the show notes. Thank you again. It was amazing. And as always, love ya.
mean it.
It's behavior, bitches.
Hey, Behavior Bitches besties. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time and stopping and watching all of our content on YouTube. We put a lot of effort into putting these podcasts into YouTube. That means I have to get dressed for the day, do my makeup, and actually show up when I used to come in looking completely homeless to record because no one could see my face. This being said, for us to keep doing this, we live for your subscription. So please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and like and leave us comments and love. Live for the love and keep tuning in, and you'll always know when our new episode drops. Love you. Mean it.